Now at this point in the course, we've seen a number of the assets and content features that we can use to really provide a good experience to our users. What we haven't looked at yet is the form feature that we have in Liferay 7.1. Now forms were introduced in 7.0 and have been optimized in 7.1 to include a number of new features that we can take advantage of, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at this particular asset. The forms asset allows us to provide forms to our users and have them fill it out, give us that data, and we can export and analyze that specific data. Back in the day before we had forms, we had dynamic data lists where we can sort of build forms and then display those to users. This is built on that concept, and now we have a specialized form builder that allows us to much more easily build, generate forms, and display them to our users. All of this can be found with the rest of the assets in the content section of site administration and in that forms section as well. Now, just like we've seen with structures, we've also seen with document types, our form builder has a number of fields that we can use and take advantage of to actually set up our form. We have things like paragraphs and text fields. We can do a select from list, a single selection. We could do a date, multiple selection, grid, numeric, and upload. And having these field options give us the opportunity to really create and provide whatever forms we have a use or need for. Okay. Now, in the case where these fields don't really cover some use case of yours, there is the ability to extend the forms and provide whatever fields you might need as well. So I would encourage you to take a look at our documentation so you can see how your developers can extend and add to this framework that we have available to us. All right, now in addition to just being able to create forms, we now have the ability to create what are called element sets. And element sets are very similar to concepts that we've seen all across the platform. We can predefine sets of fields and then we can reuse them. Okay, this might sound familiar to you. It might sound like document types and those metadata sets. It's sort of the same concept as a metadata set. We are able to take those fields, predefine them, pre-configure them, and then when we are generating forms, we can just go ahead and tack them on as needed. Okay, so it's just another way where we can be more efficient with our form building if we have some fields that are going to be used across the board. And we'll take a look at those options a little bit later as well. Now, in addition to creating the form and doing some configuration, we have some advanced features that allow us to set up some rules and even set up some conditionals for the forms as well. So in the case where you need a form that has an answer that, let's say, changes based off of a previous answer or something along those lines, the Forms Builder framework is sophisticated enough to handle that kind of need. We have the ability to, again, set up some logic here, so we can do things like if the field is equal to X or not equal to, or if it contains a particular word or something along those lines, do this. Okay, so we can set up some logic in the form builder itself without needing any code necessarily. And we also have the ability to set up a success page as well. So once a user is done filling out the form, instead of it just submitting and then going back to a blank form, it can bring them to a success page where we can write them whatever message we'd like. Something like, thank you for filling out the form. Maybe we'll get back to you in due time or something along those lines. Now to display forms, okay, as you may have already guessed, we do have a forms widget that we can take advantage of and display that on the page, okay? So we can, of course, place the form on the page, and users with the proper permissions are free to fill out that form where we will go ahead and get that information back from them, and we can export and analyze that data. All right, to recap, we have this forms asset, and we can build these forms using our new form builder feature. We can use a number of different fields and some of the advanced options, such as conditionals or the success page, that will build a form that will meet whatever use cases we have. We also have the ability to use element sets as well to make things a little bit more efficient if we are creating a number of forms with the same kinds of fields all across the board. So keep that in mind as well. All right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to build some forms together using that form builder. in order to gather some feedback from not only our employees internally for the Livingston Loop, but also to our guests who would be coming to our hotels and resorts, and they would be experiencing what we have to offer at the Livingston Hotels and Resorts. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right in.